Well, with $5 gas here, you want to make sure that you get some efficient vehicles. And one of the things I really love is efficiency. Right now I don't have too many efficient bikes, but generally that's one of the top priorities I always choose on a motorcycle. But in this video I wanted to talk to you about some inexpensive vehicles you can get that will get you through the Gazageddon. Some of the bikes that I think people should get for this gas crisis is scooters. I really think the small scooter, 100cc, even a 50cc if you have a very short distance to ride, is great. But I think a 150 makes one of the better engines, because a 150 will get you 94 miles to the gallon to 100. A 50 will probably get you 110, but the problem is you're always like on full gas. And for me, I don't really like to be like fully open all the time, but any Honda Elite is a great bike to get. Even an older one like a 1985, you can get that and survive the summer of high gas prices. Another really great scooter is the Genuine Buddy 125. I think that bike is an extremely peppy, fun, reliable. Everything that I've seen is reliable, but it does require a little bit more tuning. The maxi scooter like this doesn't make that good of an efficient vehicle, because it gets like 45 miles to the gallon, which is still good, but you know, you want something higher. Another bike that's really great is the NC700X and the NC750. But the NC700X you're going to get much better deals on. And I've had two of them. I had the automatic version and the manual version. They both get over 60 miles to the gallon on a 700cc engine. And there's been a lot of people talking about how they get 90, keeping it under the speed limit. So you can hypermile that thing and get an incredible amount of fuel efficiency. It's really cool, and I love it. But the problem is, with a lot of the NC700s, it doesn't have like an engine that riders really like. You know, it doesn't have that gruntiness, it doesn't make a great sound. Another bike that I've had that I really like is the Kawasaki Ninja 250. I prefer the first version, the EX250, because of the valve adjustments are a little bit different. But the reason I like the 250 over the 300 and 400 is because the prices on them are much lower. And the fuel efficiency is like 60 to 70 miles per gallon. I bought my EX250, it was a 2004 for $600 back in the day, and I used it for 55,000 miles. Of course, I've had like 3 other Ninja 250s. They're very reliable, but they require you to work on them quite a bit because of the carburetors. So the carburetors are an issue. I prefer fuel injection. It's much easier to live with. Another thing you gotta keep note is that your tires need to be properly inflated. If they're a little bit lower, you're going to use up a whole lot more gas. And make sure that you keep under the speed limit or at the speed limit. This area is like 55 miles per hour, but nobody goes 55. I'm going 70 now and I'm going slower. But if you really want to save money on gas, keep it under 55 and you're going to be at the most efficient. Previous to this, the gas prices, you could get a Nissan Leaf with about 8 bars left. I believe they have 11 bars. So what that means is that you could have a range of like 50 miles on a used Leaf. And used Leafs have been used as taxi cabs around here for a while because of the short distance in the city. If your commute is short enough, a used Leaf could be right for you. I've seen prices like for $3,500 pre-gas prices, pre-Russian war, pre-Biden. But now the same car is selling for $5,500. Or that's the minimum, really. I've even seen one with like complete dead batteries for 4,500 or 4,800. I'm a big fan of the EVs because of the low maintenance, no oil to change, but you do need to have a house, you need to have a plug. You're not going to be going to stores and plugging in all the time. That's annoying. There's also the MPGE, which is the E stands for equivalent. So a lot of times people think you're going to be saving a lot of money on gas, on the Teslas and electric vehicles. But something like a Model X, a Tesla Model X or S, the MPGE is like 99, so it would get like 99 miles per gallon, which is really good. But a Chevy Spark is like 120, or a Chevy Leaf, Nissan Leaf is 120 because of the smaller, lighter car. The Teslas, they seem to fluctuate in price depending on the gas. So you're talking about cars that cost about $35,000, and that's a good deal for a Tesla Model S, one of the first few ones in the used market. I'm not really concerned about anything in the new market because I can't afford it, and even if I did, I wouldn't buy it. The Model X's are like 100,000. I think the cheapest I've seen the Teslas pre-gas inflation was 25,000 for a Model S, one of the early ones. Everything about them seems to be reliable as far as like the motors. There's the little things that go bad, like the door handles, but there's already one Tesla Model S with 1,000,000 miles, but it needed a new battery pack at 200,000 or something like that, and it was covered under warranty. Of course you want a warranty. Oh, that's a big airplane going to Andrews Air Force Base. Yeah, the Teslas are not for poor people. Maybe the Model 3 you can get good deals, but a $50,000 car is still completely unapproachable for the poors. Yeah, the scooters seem to be the best way of getting around if you intend on using the road. But there's, of course, the new trend of electrification for bicycles and scooters. If you live in a big city like I do, you could get away with just buying an electric bicycle for about $1,000. I was in Dick's Sporting Goods the other day, and they had a Schwinn with the built-in battery in the frame, and it was like, I believe $900 to $1,100, and those things do have a range of about 30 miles depending on the battery pack. You could also build your own e-bike if you have an existing bike. I do recommend getting something with disc brakes because of the speeds, and what I like about your own kit is that you can have a much better bike, like better suspension. You know, you can use your carbon bike if you wanted such a thing. Now, there's two types of electric bicycle kits and electrical bikes. Is the hub motor kind and the mid-drive kind. The mid-drive is a little bit more expensive. It's in the hub. They do make kits to convert your existing one, but the hub motor, that's the cheapest alternative because they're mass produced at this point. Here's a Model Y, I believe. These things are like $100,000, so you're not really, you have to ask yourself, if you bought like a Econo box that gets 40 miles to the gallon for $20,000, or you bought a Model Y for $100,000, how many years would it take to cover that cost? I remember the same argument when the Toyota Prius came out. The Prius used to be more expensive when it came out. I believe it was like 2006 or 2003, but the second version is the one that everybody wants. There's a Mustang Mach-E behind me. That same argument happened people were thinking, why should I buy a $30,000 car when I can buy a $10,000 car? But it's proven that the Prius has been so reliable that you do save money. I think it's like 10 years or something, but with gas prices this high, that means that you could be spending like $120 to fill up a large truck, as opposed to, what is it, like $20 of electricity, maybe less, $10 of electricity. Yeah, you know, to me, riding a motorcycle, driving, I feel it's almost therapeutic. A lot of people go into shrinks and they talk about their problems. Whenever I have a problem, I go ride, either bicycle or motorcycle, or even drive my Prius around. Yeah, I enjoy driving my Prius. I like driving, I like riding. So, to me, it is therapy. Yesterday was quite the scorcher. Over 95 degrees here in the DC area. And now it's like cloudy and kind of cooler. It's like 70 degrees. You know, the one thing I don't recommend is the Zero motorcycles. You know, I like the Zero motorcycles, but they're so expensive. I just don't see the benefit. I know that you can go on the highway, do some trips, but there are alternatives. You could buy one of those small Chinese motorcycles. I think you can buy them on Amazon and then deliver it to you. And I think most people would prefer those. I gotta do a long ride on this thing.